In Victoria, Queensland, New South Wales and South Australia, huge demand for PCR testing hasn't let up. Today, some sites hit their daily capacity before they even opened, turning people away as the system is pushed to the brink.
People turned away after waiting 4, 5 and 6 hours to get tested is not good enough.
Waiting times for results have also blown out to more than 70 hours in South Australia and Queensland. In New South Wales, some have waited more than 100 hours. Additionally, almost 1,400 people have been given unconfirmed or incorrect results over the last 24 hours. To ease pressure, New South Wales authorities continue to urge people to think twice before heading to a testing clinic. While the ACT has suspended PCR tests for travellers, and South Australia has ditched mandatory tests for interstate arrivals.
Our priority for all of our testing around Australia is testing those people who have symptoms.
Calls are growing for Tassie and Queensland to do the same.
I completely respect and appreciate the views that the other premiers take. Ultimately, they need to keep their people safe. We just don't believe that the requirement of a PCR test for somebody who is not unwell is actually supportive of that.
But neither state is budging just yet.
I want to be clear, that will remain in place for the time being.
We need to make sure that we are still protecting Queenslanders.
We do seem to be coming up to capacity, both the actual testing, the long lines at the testing centres, but it's also overwhelming the labs, and it's becoming challenging to get people's tests back in a timely fashion, which is really a problem because you need to know.
Victoria is reportedly considering replacing PCR with rapid antigen testing for some close contacts. But many retailers have run out of the at-home kits, even though suppliers say their warehouses are full.
Keeping your family safe, keeping yourself safe, it shouldn't come at a cost that really can't be borne by many people in our society. They're $15 a pop. If you have a whole family, it's going to be very difficult to afford. So really, the government should be making these widely available and subsidised or for free.
Well, Professor Mary Louise McLaws is a COVID advisor to the World Health Organisation. She joins us now. Professor, there's around 1,400 people in Sydney who've received the wrong PCR result, including negatives that were actually positives. How dangerous is this?
It's very dangerous because as soon as people get the result, they want to celebrate. So I'd be pretty sure they'd be going out and seeing at least one other person. So that's at least another 1,400 people. And of course, if these are mostly Delta and some Omicron, they could be infecting at least up to 6 people. So it could be, as many as 8,500 or at least 1,500 people that they may have inadvertently infected because they went off to celebrate.
What about our isolation rules? They're keeping thousands of Aussies stuck at home at the moment. We've mentioned rapid testing beforehand, but how would that change how we do it? And how do you think we should overhaul the system if you were in charge?
Tom, if you're in isolation and you have no symptoms, so I'd be giving everybody a 6 rapid antigen test, ask them to stay at home for a couple of days, and then after testing for 2 days, that accuracy gets up to, over 99.9% accurate, nearly 100%. So if you're test negative for the 2 days in a row, go out and enjoy yourself, but keep testing yourself for at least another 4 days. So you have a whole 6 days of tests because you can become symptomatic from about day 3 or 4 with Omicron, but definitely day 4 with Delta. We need to remind people also if they were infected between September and November, there's another 200,000. They need to be vaccinated as well because their immunity is not going to last past November.
Hey, Mary Louise, I love it when you tell it to us straight. A lot of people watching tonight are on holidays, they're wanting chill time, they're wanting to see family or friends, probably want to go out. There's an enormous amount of mixed messaging. What is your advice to people?
Go out and be careful. Please be double vaccinated at least. If you've had your second dose for 4 months, please go and get that booster shot as soon as possible. In the meantime, if you're at all concerned because you're going to meet with people and at a social meeting, please just do a rapid antigen test the day before and of the day. If you're negative, continue to enjoy yourself. Please wear your mask over your nose because you can be breathing in Delta or Omicron or breathing it out if you're in that early phase and don't realise you're sick. But go and enjoy, but be careful.
Professor, around 300,000 Aussies have been infected by Delta or an earlier strain since it hit our shores. How much protection will they have against Omicron?
Well, they'll have protection for around 4 months. Previously we thought it was 6 months. So anybody that has been a case, and there's about 54,000 from the beginning until September, even if they're double vaccinated, they need to think of a booster shot. But certainly if they didn't get vaccinated, they really do need their vaccine. They haven't been protected. Then there's at least another 95,000 that soon will be at risk because they were infected in December. So we really do need to get them, as soon as they're over all of their symptoms, vaccinated. And that should be around the end of March. They should start to think about getting their vaccine.
I'm pretty sure Susie was asking that question for a friend of a friend.
I was. Thank you, Mary Louise. You've just given me the ammunition I need for a conversation I don't want to have.
All right, well, I hope you're not going to bill us for that advice. Thank you, Professor Mary Louise McLaws.
It's a pleasure. Stay safe.